So what do you do when you want the latest OnePlus flagship phone but you don't want to spend that amount for it? Or you don't want many sleepless nights as you have no control over your OCD, which will make you keep checking your phone for any display issues on it? Well, you jump off a cliff or just buy the OnePlus 8. Hey everyone, Mukul here. So it's been a month since I've been using the OnePlus 8 and I got its cheapest variant as there was no sense in spending 3000 rupees more or $40 US more for just a 2 GB of RAM boost. Or it could be just that I'm just thrifty. The phone feels well built, and if I compare it to my previous phone, which was the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, I really have no complaints with it. But what was extremely pleasing was the matte finish on its back. The no glass material looks pretty until you put an ugly ass back protective cover, as someone has already dropped his phone twice. And no, that's not me, or maybe. I got a chance to compare this phone's camera with the OnePlus 8 Pro's camera, and that video has already been published. But during that test, I felt the size of the 8 Pro was too bulky with that cover you are going to put on it anyway. And if you are a biker, you can definitely feel the volume and weight of the phone in your pocket once you are riding on the bike. The 8 never felt like it has a smaller screen in my usage. I mean, of course, bigger is better for media consumption, but this size too is perfect even if you like large screen sized phones. And bigger is better is also what she said. You can also easily manage it with one hand. The phone. During my usage with the phone so far, the experience has been crazy good. I'm a horrifying multitasker and I expect my phone to behave the same. After coming from Samsung Note 9, which had an Exynos processor on it, the OnePlus 8 and its Oxygen OS has taken me down the memory lane of rooting phones back in 2011 or so, when the Cyanogen mod ROMs and the AOSP ROMs used to give me similar experience on the Samsung Galaxy S2 and then later on phones like the Xiaomi Mi 4. God, I have missed this experience so much so that I regret trying other phones over the past few years. And also because I anyway increased my animation speed to 0.5x in developer settings, keeping it at either 60Hz or 90Hz didn't make a huge difference for my usage. Just open that goddamn tab fast is the motto of my life. I'm not a huge mobile gamer, but I played a little bit of COD on the phone at max settings and it was smooth as something extremely smooth. You do the guesswork here. And it also didn't heat up at all. But some elements of the game UI were being cut by these curved corners. I have already compared the OnePlus 8 to the Poco X2 and the OnePlus 8 Pro's camera. I will post their links in the description. But if I have to conclude its performance, I would say that they are good for the price, and if you own a phone which is more than 2 years old right now, then I would say you'd be pretty pleased with the cameras of the 8. The Auto HDR sometimes does this extreme HDR, which might be liked by some and might be hated by some. The videos are good in the daytime and the low light performance is just above average. But what's truly weird with this phone is its nightscape performance or night mode performance. More than often, I would see the normal mode actually taking better pictures than the nightscape mode on the phone. So during low light scenarios, I sometimes have to experiment with both, which is a good experience if you're a mad geek, but a casual user won't love this fiddling so much with the camera app when all you want is a good picture in the end. But the most awesome night mode is on the G Cam and it works brilliantly on this phone, and hence I was able to extract more from the cameras in poor lighting. The selfies came out with excellent details too, that sometimes I really couldn't believe that I can look so pretty. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And the wide ISO and the aperture range in the Pro mode for pictures is a bonus too, but sadly the video still doesn't go the Pro way. Do not forget how much you are paying for the phone and how much you are getting from it. You're not going to pay over 50,000 rupees or $700-800 US more, so accept what you are getting for the money you are putting in this phone. But for me personally, I have no major complaints with the cameras. I actually loved its low light performance way more than I loved my X, that I'm going to, or I may have already posted a video on it. On the phone's camera, I mean, not on my X. So now what else do you expect from your phone? Yeah, phone calls. Because it's a phone. Well, I have had absolutely no issues with any of the calls I have experienced on the phone. Even at some spots in my house where there was almost no reception earlier, I do get some reception now. The Wi-Fi range on the 5 GHz line is excellent and better than any of the phones I've used in the recent past. The range is so good that I have not even connected to the 2.4 GHz line on my Wi-Fi yet. Even after standing some 8 meters from my crappy Wi-Fi router, I do get over 100 Mbps of speed, which is God sent, or my ISP sent. The battery of the phone is actually one of its strong suits. It's not the bestest one out there, so you need to be satisfied with a range of 5.5 hours of screen on time to sometimes 6.5 hours of screen on time on one of the best days. I'm a heavy user and I use all kind of social media apps and a lot of cameras, especially during these days because I was reviewing the camera of this phone, but the phone has always provided a solid battery backup. I think the phone can easily get you through a complete day of usage. The battery also performs similarly on both 60Hz and the 90Hz mode. These OS optimizations are smart and they actually know when to turn off the 90Hz screen when it's actually not needed on the phone. And on top of that, the 30-watt charger charges the phone so rapidly that I have now stopped worrying about the battery more. It feels so much faster out of habit, and the fact that my previous phone took almost 2.5 hours to charge completely. This is a pure consumer introspect and behavioral changes, and I really can't be more expressive about the change in habit a good battery and a fast charging combo can provide. It's of course not as fast as you going out and cooking a quick noodle, but I think by the end of 2025 you'll be able to charge your phones faster than cooking a quick noodle. Well, of course, those are one of the best parts of the phone apart from some nifty cool features it comes with. Like for example, the dark mode. You have to go so deep inside the settings to change it that OnePlus is snatching this luxury in their Android 11 update. See, this is how companies ruin good things. On Android 11, you can simply toggle the dark mode from the notification bar. That's no fun. Okay, enough with the sarcasm. The Oxygen OS provides you rapid updates because it's mostly stock Android, and the derived customization on the phone has been there for years actually, many years. Way before even I was born. The speakers on the phone are loud, but not crazily loud. And don't ask me what is crazily loud. I mean, it does the trick of providing a stereo experience, but if you are in a moderately noisy room, then they can sound a little low. Or wait for the winters till they do appear to be extremely loud with that fan and AC turned off. Hey everyone, Mukul here. So as I have mentioned in my previous videos that I was looking to buy a OnePlus 8 Pro, features like the 3-finger screenshot and double tap screen to turn off and on are convenient features too. The face unlock, let's talk about the face unlock. The face unlock is so fast that I now miss seeing my lock screen wallpaper. I spent time in actually applying it and now I can't see it. The fingerprint unlock is extremely fast too, but on rare occasions I have seen me try more than once to get it right. But that really has happened on extremely rare occasions. Rarest of rare actually. I mean really rare. Rare, rata rare. Oh. The earpiece quality for taking calls is pretty amazing too. Also, this trick of the default launcher of renaming a new folder by guesswork is pretty cool when you add apps from the same category together inside one folder. The live caption feature was a pleasant surprise actually. I didn't know you can do that on OnePlus phones too. It also worked quite accurately and I was happy with the fact that it was so easily accessible too. And I really dig this sweet feature of holding the fingerprint sensor and then it's showing you these 4 to 5 apps for quick access without moving your finger. Because you anyway move your finger too much. Of course, for using the goddamn phone, you dirty-minded human. And these little cute animations like flight mode looked so good and reminded me of something I will not be able to do happily for a long time. So far does this review sound like a OnePlus fanboy one-sided blind review? So some of these negatives of the phone might sound like I'm extremely nitpicking, but here I go anyway. So a few things which I didn't like on the phone were things like why can't I make folders in the app drawer? And I'm too lazy to put a new launcher and do all this extra work. So how about no? And I don't know if it was something I did during the first startup boot, but there were few multiple apps on the phone like File Manager from OnePlus and another file manager from Google, and then I love Google Files, so I installed Google Files too, and suddenly voila, we have the largest file manager phone server ever made. Also, I would have loved if it could remove these useless Google Play Music and TV app, which I have never used in this life term so far. And by default, you might see this really bad looking clock on your phone's lock screen, which will reduce your phone's worth by at least $100 or more. So change it quickly before the value depreciates even further. The default widget scale of this weather was quite annoying. It has this extra margins which nobody asked for, but yeah, it's going to stay there in your face for some time till you actually remove it. So people love gestures now, and I don't. But I thought why not give them a try, and I enabled it thinking it would get me more screen space. But with the fish, it actually stays the same. So I'm now left wondering what's the point of these gestures anyway. They take more time and latency to perform a similar action, and my logical head just can't get it. Oh, and because of constantly working from home, I've so far hardly ever used these volume rocker keys, which everyone says, whoa, are so good that they can't really stop saying about that in every single video they put up about OnePlus. Wow, a short rant on a volume rocker key. The phone has sometimes acted weirdly with WhatsApp. I had to force stop it a few times actually. So I'm hoping whatever hidden or less known bug this is, it will be fixed in the next update. And the phone has actually sometimes hung on the lock screen too, and I had to turn it on and off a couple of times, and that actually fixes it. But I'm guessing these are some just minor bugs which will definitely get fixed in the future update. And if you think that's it, then no. A couple of weird things happen too. The cloud storage of OnePlus is so damn slow that even the snails denied competing with it. I mean, a 5 MB file from their servers were showing 20 minutes to download. So I cancelled the download, installed OneDrive and took my file from there. All that took me 5 minutes, including the login time actually. But what was even stranger was that when I had made sure to choose that I want my original files on my phone, the cloud storage somehow entirely ignored it. And when I was transferring these files to my OneDrive app, it asked if I want to transfer the original photos or the HD ones. I mean, give me my original pictures back. So I made sure to save them on the phone again, and I ticked off pictures from the backup. And if it's not clear enough by now, I'm asking you to just avoid OnePlus cloud storage backup feature. I could have just said that it has bugs and don't use it, but that's not how you share a true review. And I make the truest of reviews. So overall, I dig the investment I made on this phone, and I just love how snappy the Oxygen OS is. So will I recommend this phone? Hell yeah, if it wasn't obvious so far. In my opinion, it is a true value for money device right now, and future proof too whenever that 5G comes here. And if you're waiting for the 8T to launch, then you can actually, but I suspect it will cost marginally more than the OnePlus 8, as it might come with that IMX689 which we have seen on the OnePlus 8 Pro, and with all those other extra features, the cost might get inflated more. But don't quote me for that and later come at my door with your frigging pitchforks, alright? You can wait for the OnePlus 8T to launch and then make a choice if you want. And few more things like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm done with this video. Do see my dedicated camera reviews too of the phone, where I go in detail how the cameras are like specifically. I'll post their links everywhere. So do leave a like and sub with the bell if this video helped you in any way. I will actually appreciate it a lot. And don't forget to stay safe. That's all for today. MewBot out.